Okay, so I'm trying this again. Okay, I think I got this good. Let's check the here. I have an idiot cat complaining in the background. Alright, so we're trying this again. This time I don't have two streams running simultaneously, which is good. It's very good. And I'm going to check Twitch real quick to ensure nothing funky is going on with that. Okay, that's looking good. Okay, it's muted. Alright, I think that's good. Alright, that's my hope that this thing is now working properly. Looks like I have something going on. There. Definitely need to get another monitor. That's definitely a thing. Okay, so I think I have everything set. Hopefully, maybe I'll know for sure if somebody tries to send me a message. Okay, good. That's joined in. I can see it. All right. Just want to make sure I don't have multiple streams running. That was weird. Yep, just on one live stream, which is good. Ah, I can see you, Mike. Just want to make sure I can see you in my other places. All right, I got you there. And let's see if I got you where I want you. Yes, I got it there too. Perfect. Now I just need to know if Twitch is working. But YouTube is definitely working, so that's a good sign. Excellent. All right, well, let's go over to the arting desk. There we go. All right, so like I was trying to say before, when I noticed I had two streams running, I think I know how I did it now, looking at it. Basically what we're working on now is storyboards. One of the things about having an editor, not only do they need me to write down my whole story, so annoying. I mean, actually have to have a story written and everything. God, usually make it up as I go, but no, they don't want me to do that. So I basically did a little bit of an outline of a rough page count of what I need and where I see stuff going. I'll be doing a storyboards for it now to lay everything out. I may need to do multiple storyboards for different pages for the same page. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so YouTube seems to be working correctly. This makes me happy. I also added in a bunch of things on Twitch so I can see if people subscribe now and all that. It should pop up on my screen. That'll be a little handy. Okay, so the first thing. Okay, so I'm ditching the idea of going Linux from everything I've read. However, I looked into a lot of reviews and recommendations, and the more economical route is a Mac Mini. That's fair. I mean, good luck. I stream off Windows for when I do these types of live streams. When I'm doing stuff I'm actually drawing on the computer, I use my Mac because I have my tablet hooked up to it. And I have Clip Studio on that. Kaiju's complaining because he's locked in down here now. Yeah, I know. You're complaining. Yeah. Yeah, you are. Yeah. What? Oh, that's a kitten. Oh, God. I have a feeling I'm going to be getting that all day. Cat jumping through everything. My lot in life. He is a kitten. So, yeah. We are going to attempt to do this, and I'm going to be doing, whatchamacallit, the storyboards or layouts, thumbnails. The manga editor refers to them as storyboards. I mean, that is kind of what they are. Hang on one sec, guys. I have a cat about to jump. I got you. Ah! Okay. I got him. Let's see. Neat thing is also it uses a lot less electricity than for the art and video editing I want to do. That's good. I'm going to use my Windows computer for gaming primarily. That's fair. That's definitely fair. Okay, so panel 1. This is mostly going to be a splash page. I even noted it here. I don't know if you can see read my notes, but maybe it's fine. I don't really like scripting per se. I much prefer trying to just do the storyboards and stuff. And typically when I lay stuff out, I usually use note cards. But I figured for this, I'll use computer paper because it'll be a bit bigger and easier to kind of look to see what I'm doing. I'm glad you're looking forward to seeing this. So this should hopefully be good. If anybody's watching on my Twitch channel, if they could log in there and try just hitting me with a message across Twitch, I just want to see if it works. Oh no, spoilers. Yeah, spoilers. Spoilers. I should actually probably get get that from Doctor Who. Download her saying that and popping it in. All right, so it's gonna be mostly a splash panel, mostly a splash page, and I was thinking if how I want to do it is effectively having a little bit off-centered main panel, so I'll break some of the guidelines. Now, manga is a little bit different. They don't usually work off of full bleed. Oh, perfect. Excellent. So I can see everything now. That makes me so happy. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Midnight. I appreciate it. Okay. And when I go to be drawing this, I'm actually going to be drawing this entirely digitally, most likely, because this is going to be easier. And if I become a official mangaka of this company, well, I'm gonna have to hire assistants sooner rather than later, probably. So hopefully, I'll be making enough money from it that I can do that. Because good God help me, I don't know how I could keep up with their rates. Granted, manga is 20 pages a month as opposed to like 24, so there's that. Now, the whatchamacallit, the one shot can be 20 to 50 pages. There's no high end. I've loosely plotted out 20 pages. And a bunch of my pages are just big fight happens. Make sure it goes at least 20 pages. It goes to the 20th page. And then I'll probably have a couple of pages after for tie up or something, just so I can wrap up the story for it. So it'll be a one complete story that'll hopefully leave people wanting more. Alright, so it's mostly a splash page. So I wanted to get the splash page kind of there, and I have this view of it that it's going to be kind of like a slightly above angle kitty corner type of thing. But we'll have the lead sitting in a corner. Trip stream is ahead of the YouTube stream at 2 to 5 seconds. Yeah, I think it is a little bit. I think it does run a little bit quicker. It's weird. Like I have a 5-second delay set, but YouTube's a little strange with how it does it. In comparison to Twitch, it is a little strange. But yeah. So basically, kind of want to have her here. She'll have her hoodie on and up. Actually, have her legs more close together. Yeah, it definitely happens to other streamers too. But yeah, and Twitch is now allowing you to multi-stream, so that is cool. They have a few interesting rules about it, which I don't really mind. Like you're not supposed to advertise them streaming on other services with it. Like I'm not supposed to be like, oh, follow me on YouTube. No, but this is gonna be follow me on all the services that I'm on. I may add TikTok at some point, but not today. With OBS, I'm using it's a plugin called ATM, and it lets you multi-stream through things. And what's kind of interesting is ATM is a reference to Mistborn. Oh. Okay, so when I have that, I'm just going to have her. She basically has a board. Here. And probably can't really read my chicken scratch there, but it does say, will slay monsters for food. So. Okay. Checking notifications, make sure I don't get any other weird things happening. And I intend to kind of make it raining, so let's make some notes of rain. Puddles. Let's see here. What else are we gonna do with that? I was thinking about possibly having like shadows of people kind of moving through, so we can kind of see, just people walking by and stuff like that in this area. And she's just like far back in this little corner. It'll be kind of on the ground that's casting it out. We'll probably have like some bricks in the wall over here and stuff. But yeah, so she's in this corner, basically crouched over and dealing with that. And I know with the storyboards, they should be loose. As long as basically I can interpret them and I can explain it to the editor, it should be fine. But yeah, no, I don't really want to go crazy detailed with these. I just kind of want to get an idea. All right. And then I wanted to have panels kind of orbiting this one. So, like that. I'll do like 4 panels. Make them a little bit bigger. When I do them out with Clip Studio, I can figure out how I want to make them a bit more even or whatnot. Oh, one of the other good things about this is I don't have to do these from right to left. I can do it from left to right because they specifically stated that it's like, no, if you're doing this, you don't have to do it since your language is English. You don't have to do it that way. And this is from a company in Japan is telling me this. So when people say manga has to be right to left, Japan's telling me otherwise. Now, they do want to know if I could do storytelling that way in case they wanted to me to do something else, like work on, say, one of their projects or something like that. Which I said, yeah, I can figure it out. I'm not really concerned with that. If I can reverse it, it'll be a little bit weird in my head, but I can probably do it. So this is going to be a city scene, which I already have this one drawn, so this will be even better. So I'm going to reuse a city scene I already did. I'm just going to make kind of a note, and that there'll be like a bridgeway here. Water here. And again, we'll have oh, again, rain kind of coming down, puddles being hit in the water over here, and posts here. This is like kind of a dock. Let's see what else we want to do. So my general idea was to kind of show the city in different ways. Like I was going to have like the Sitco sign. Is it Sitco or mobile station sign? I don't even remember. But yeah, we got like basically that here, and I have a few other things. So I was kind of like zooming in and going around the city, as it were. Kind of, I want to set that as basically. I'm trying to set up that as Boston. And they'll have like change up the angle a little bit, so we have like something on the ground. Yes, my buildings are super detailed. But then again, as I said, this is supposed to be thumbnailing, so I'm not really gonna do much. As long as I can understand what the hell they are, that's all that matters. But effectively, we'll have like crowd scenes, and I'll be using like a lot of silhouettes for some of this. I'll have like some, I'll sketch in some people, but to make it look kind of crowded, I'll also just stick in some silhouettes in there. Because it'll be like, yeah, so we got that. That'll be fun. then over here, I'm going to have like a face of a child. She's got an umbrella. Little girl here that's coming in there, and kind of see where it goes. Alright, so this is effectively would be page 1. So I got these panels that are kind of up over here. We have this. We have mostly the subscenes of the city, and we're kind of going through the city a bit until we get this kid, and then she sees her basically leaning against a corner, and she sees the sign, "Will slay monsters for food." And her clothes are fairly raggy. I'm kind of happy with that, so I'm probably going to keep that generalized as the layout. So now we're going to do page 2. Okay. So, kid comes up. So this will basically be on the reverse side of page 1. Turn it, so it'll be there. Then we have page 3 will be there. Okay. So she's going to come in and do kind of a bigger panel here. We'll have kind of a kid from the back. We got Ashley over here. Trisha Allison from Twitch stream asked me to tell past Allison to watch out for pencil lead breaking. That's good to know. Current Allison is confused because she hasn't said that, and maybe I will say that. I don't know. This is weird and confusing me. But she's bundled up here, and she's kind of like gripping her legs. Again, we don't see Ashley much. But she's going to ask something here. Be a question. Yeah, I see. Yep, you got a little smiley face there. Yep, see how it is. Yep. Right, so we have that. And effectively, she's asking her if she really does kill monsters. Well, alright. And she doesn't say anything. Okay, so we got a panel here. And what we're going to do is, this little girl is important to the story, and it's good to give like an introduction where you can actually see the whole character. Whenever you introduce somebody who's potentially important to a plot or whatever, you want to give a full shot of the character. And try not to hide the feet. Technically should be a bit smaller, but you know, I'm just trying to get something rough in here. All right, going. Her head should be a bit bigger anyway. Kids tend to have big heads, the little fat heads. And again, she'll be saying something. I think Jeff's home. The other roommate. I like to map where I kind of want the dialogue to be, so I have an idea. I think that'd be handy. And then I have another shot of Ashley's hoodie. You'll be able to see that it's fairly beat up and things. I'll probably, when I actually do the hoodie in the scene, I'll most likely have more of it there, but it gives me an idea just to kind of do that. Okay. Now this will be kind of interesting because the little girl is going to start to tell her story. And the way I want to do it is effectively, I want to kind of look like a child has drawn it. So with kind of very crayon-esque in ways. I'll probably use a pencil tip digitally that will look kind of like a crayon that I'm drawing with it, but I'm going to specifically make it look like that. And, well, it might not look that much different from my storyboards. But we will see. Okay. Okay, one of the things I like about Meld a little bit better is I can see how long I've been streaming a bit easier. Oh wait, it's right down there. Okay. Yep, that's handy. Not dropping frames. It's good. Barely using the CPU. Excellent. Okay, good. So there'll be a bit of a narration up here. And what I intend to do is put like in a box and then have like the kid's face kind of over it here. Then she's kind of like telling the story, but she's not in the picture, as it were. She actually is in a house, so we're gonna do a house kind of like this. It's not the typical kid house, being a little bit different, and kind of raised ranch-esque type thing. Like a garage over here, probably attached. And a window. Probably a couple of windows over here. And she's going to start telling her tale. Again, when I have her talking with this, I'll have just like her head and like narrative kind of bubbles over here. I think they'll give kind of an interesting look to things. I mean, the comic is definitely, it's a serious shonen. It goes from, age range will be about 12 to 18, but I can definitely see it appealing to older teens and stuff, so it can kind of bridge into seinen a little bit. I don't see it as a josei or a shoujo, obviously, and it's definitely not for kids. None of my stuff is ever really for kids. I draw too much violence. I mean, I like drawing gratuitous bloodshed, so. Is this effectively page 2? What I'm thinking? Alright, so that's the start of the flashback. And then we have the flashback itself. This will be page 3. Now I have this loosely listed to go from 3 to 4, but we'll see what happens with it. Now I kind of pictured a bed and her hiding under a bed during this kind of that. She's crying and very scared. She's got like a hand over her mouth. And there'll be shouting going on. It's between, it's basically just her father who's shouting. So I'll have like this other person kind of appearing up here for the dialogue. And then the next thought would be her kind of creeping out and looking about at things. So she was hiding under the bed, but decides that she wants to come out and take a look. So she's going to go to the doorway. One second. I am waiting for an email, so. Yep, okay. It actually was the one I wanted, and it basically gave me the info I needed. Good. The door will go higher because she's too small to do that. Then I'm going to do a bigger panel here. Again, there'll be more like yelling and stuff going on. She's basically loosely sticking her head out the door at this point, just kind of watching. Probably actually do that smaller. Yeah, let's do that smaller and then give it more of a hallway look. Like she's the distance a kid would see from like a hallway. That it's much bigger than she sees it bigger than it probably actually is. Something like that, and kind of looking out the door here, and not sure what to kind of make of it. I'll actually cut the frame there. She's kind of coming out from there, and we have for right here, we're going to have a sound effect, a crack. There's no E at the beginning of crack. I can spell. I'm allowed. I was always more of a math girl than spelling. And the yelling is going to intensify a bit over here. Then I'm going to do another fairly big panel here. No, don't think I'll do one that big. I'll probably move this up a bit to here. So I can do that, then move the eye to that. Have it kind of floating between the two. Actually, this one will be a little bit bigger. And actually, I don't think it'll be crack. No, won't be crack. Doesn't really hit people in that sense. He's kind of a slasher, so we'll go with slash. Just doing a quick check to make sure I'm still seeing chat. I don't know, Michael, if you're there, if you could just send me a message and ease my paranoia. I think I'm good. Really annoyed me the other day that I didn't see anything. So, yeah, there we go. Paranoid message. Perfect. So we'll do slice instead. If you guys are having a hard time following my scribbling, then I'm sorry. But hey, this is actually a bit better than the usual way that I storyboard this stuff. I usually use a lot more it's just like stick figures. Granted, I'm also usually working on like a an index card. So, and then I flip it over and make notes on it. That's actually how I less paranoid message. Oh, fantastic! This must be a stream from the future of Twitch. Yeah. Yeah, usually I just kind of do stick figures. And then on the other side, I make like notes of what I want to do, and that's actually where I do most of my writing. And I change things as I go and stuff. Like this will get changed as I go. Like I'll probably tighten up some of the well, I'll definitely tighten it up. But I'll change out maybe a few of the ideas of the layouts and things for it, of how I'm doing some of the positions. Right now, it's kind of like most of the same types of things. Granted, this is still the um, child's perspective, so this all can be done kind of like crayon-esque. So having a very simple layout makes sense for it. But I think we'll have the kitchen. Again, this is all from her perspective, and she's not very big. We're going to have. Don't want her straight on. Okay, so, and this is going to be Dead Mommy. Going dark right from the start with this. Maybe I'll put like another panel in here. That's the little girl just bug-eyed and surprised. It's funny too because manga tends to be very kind of their paneling tends to be very much the same way they do it, and I definitely have kind of the American comic slash graphic novel approach to paneling because I make them more you know out there with things. Like I do panels covering panels, things like that, and like I will dress up the frames a bit. They won't just be like straight frames. Like what I mean is, we got Spriggan right here. If we turn to it, like the paneling tends to be very, straight lines, very formatted, kind of the same way and things throughout it. Now the shouting and all that, but that definitely, you definitely get the impression that they're shouting. Yeah, so it's pretty good at that. But yeah, there's nothing. These are very structured panels. I guess the way I'm looking at it, very kind of old school. Granted, this manga was, I believe, started in the 1980s, but it's a great series nonetheless. I can pull out Battle Angel, but I'll probably kill myself in the process if I do it right now, and I got a Kira buried under here, so. Blame is supposed to be really good. Yeah, Blame is good. I'll definitely agree. Blame is really good, and that one will mess you up. That's an interesting one. Okay, so we have her probably screaming. So we have this. And then in this panel, we're going to have Daddy. He'll have his kind of dead eyes. There's something wrong with Daddy. He's got like this mark now on his forehead. If anybody wants to see what the villain looks like, I will show you one of my conceptual pieces of him. That's the villain, the Ash Ghoul. I did this piece back in 2023. He's a villain that I've had since the mid-aughts, probably about 2004, 2005 is about the time that he was created. Late 2004, I'd say. So yeah, and that's him. And as villains go, he's a little sadistic. Get more than a little. And yeah, he possesses people and takes over. And then that mark appears, kind of like the mark of the beast. He'll have like this sinister grin, very much kind of Joker-esque. Maybe page 3. Alright, so we got Siri was apparently listening to me. So page 1, we turn to page 2, then we have page 3. Then we turn that, and we go to page 4. On the other side. Which I kind of like the idea of breaking from this flashback here and going back to the more normal thing for the horse page. You know, when I originally wrote this up, I said maybe I'll do the flashback as a couple of pages, but I think one will handle it fine. Starting at the end of page 2 and doing page 3. So page 4 will go to page 5. Actually, I am going to use pretty much the same kind of pose on Ashley. She's kind of this laid out here. She really hasn't moved, and she's still just kind of here. There's been no change. She's still kneeling there, and it's just a side view of her just there. And we have a little girl right here. So there's the umbrella going. Again, we still haven't seen Ashley's face, just this oversized hoodie and her like baggy jeans that she's kind of wrapped up in. She's basically like, will you help me? No. Ashley would be a bit smaller, it's a bit too big, but you know. Then I had this thought of doing this kind of overture panel where we have two here. The girl moves in. Now, if I was animating this, I can kind of see I can see the different frames for it, like the different keyframes that be used. Even though I think I want her closer to the edge. She's going to reach across the panel. So put her here. And then she's reaching across the panel. She's got like a cookie. And then we still have Ashley is kind of here, dealing with this. And some chocolate chips because chocolate chips are good. Now let's see. Figure she would reach out and take said cookie. Again, we just gotta see this dark shape for where the hood is. Debated doing it again from the side, but I think I'm gonna do it like this. And I may have to make some changes to it anyway, but her hoodie is definitely way too big for her. And this panel will have it broken, and she's breaking the cookie. And some crumbs scatter. We have the other side. Probably will do this a bit bigger. I'm just going to make a note. But yeah, so it's basically in the frame breaking the cookie, and I think we'll try to sneak in one more panel down here. And we see that she's just started to walk away. Basically, just see the kind of a mouse-sized view of her walking away. Let the little girl be here as well, but we'll see that she has the other half of the cookie in her hand here. That'll be the first 4 pages, effectively. It sets everything up, gets the ball rolling, and also gives me a page turn for the next sequence. So on page 5, we have a scene change. I really like doing things with page turns a lot, especially when I'm using elements of horror with this. I mean, it's definitely shonen, fantasy has fighting and other battle type stuff, but I always like slipping in a bit of a subgenre of horror. And in some ways, this is my way of kind of doing the so you have like your Jason Voorhees character or your Freddy Krueger character, and especially something like the Jason Voorhees and the Michael Myers, that sooner or later you're going to attract something that can hunt it, that basically will try to go after it. It's kind of what she is. She hunts these monsters. Um, it's a bit more because it has this very strong tokusatsu feel to it. It's heavily inspired by like Power Rangers and all that. But what if Power Rangers is written for an older audience? Or like Kamen Rider, that type of thing. What if it's written for an older audience? How would that work? And that's effectively kind of what I'm doing with this. So, okay. So the next thing will be an establishing shot of where she is. And then we'll also get a good view of her for the first time. I think we'll see her as a in the panel. We'll do the establishment shot up here, that we're in a different location, and this will basically be the house. I think I have it written as an apartment in my notes, but I kind of like the idea of it being a house better. Window here. And we'll have dialogue here. And this time we'll have her face on here. It'll basically be the hooded face. We'll see her kind of up here, and she's talking to someone or something. Kind of like Frank Miller, there's certain types of panels. I just like to draw certain panel types. And it's going to be inside the house. Mother's body is now like hanging from the ceiling. Has her arms kind of going down here. And there's like a ritualized circle here. And the ash school symbol is here. That it might look like a G, but hey. And she'll be kind of here. This will be a kind of a above the shoulder kind of look, not top down straight, but a little bit above the shoulder, kind of looking up, and you have like all this going on. When I rough it out, it'll look like it'll make more sense probably. These will work for me. So with that. But yeah, so right here, we get the full shot of her. Now, definitely need to do kind of an interesting, she's not just going to be standing straight because that doesn't look good. She'll be I'm more in a pose position. Yeah, we'll have her, she's actually going to have her hand, one of her hands kind of up and out, and she's holding something. It's dangling from a chain. And there's going to be a tanuki over here. Kind of right behind her legs and things. Yeah, that'll basically be page 5, where you get the full shot of her to introduce her. Then you have we'll have the dangling body house thing here, and she's talking to somebody there. And it turns out that she's actually talking to both this and the tanuki. And they're responding. It's kind of the old adage of, you have the one character playing the character in D&D, and then everybody else is the magic item and the familiar. So it's kind of what this is. It's how I can draw a team book without drawing a team. Yeah, so I've been going about an hour. It's kind of what I wanted to do for this, is kind of give a taste of like what's going on for this stuff. I'll probably be back to streaming in the near future, and I'll hopefully have more substantial artwork to work with and show aside from me scribbling storyboards. But if you want to make manga or comics in a lot of ways, having storyboards is super important, and it's something that the editor wants to see. They definitely want to see how you lay out your story and where it's going from. Now, whether or not the editor's going to be able to read my chicken scratch notes, or if I'm going to have to retype them. I'm kind of expecting to have to type them, but I could get lucky either way. And these will probably, when I do these, I might have like some additional notations in certain places of what I'm trying to do and set up and things. But yeah, so that's basically the first 5 pages of the manga. I think that was a pretty good stream, and I'm going to call it here. I'd like to thank everyone for coming by, came here. Thank you, Mike, for fueling my paranoia, and that definitely helped me a lot. But if everybody could do me a favor and all right, I got me over here, so I'd like to say goodbye, everybody, and have a great and wonderful evening. Bye.